Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I totally wasn't going to do a reading today. My energy was just feeling kind of off for whatever reason all throughout the day, and as I was laying in bed, I totally just got like this huge surge of energy coming through, and I think it's the new moon or the full moon really coming in right now, and just really waking me up. So I got drawn to do this reading here today. Um, so, I am getting out a late night video, and I'm guessing it's to reach certain people that might be curious as to what's going on with the weekend energies and everything like that. I just wanted to take some time here to say a huge thank you for all the donations, all the people that have been getting private readings. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Guys, we're close to getting a new camera. I've had some people that have been very, very generous donating. $50 a piece, and it was just such a blessing and such big thank yous. I would love to mention names personally, but again, for privacy, I feel like it's probably better if I just not. And you guys know who you are, so I totally appreciate it and love that you guys are stepping up like that. It helps me so much. The amount this channel has grown, it feels like overnight I just have 100 new people almost every day, and that's just so crazy, and I feel so blessed and thankful for it. So without further ado, I'm gonna hop right in. Today's reading is going to be a requested reading that I got earlier, and it was how the divine masculine would react if the divine feminine were to get a karmic partner and or go for a soulmate. That was the requested video. I thought it was an interesting read, so I figured why not? Let's see what happens, right? I've already done the prayer, and I have already pre-shuffled these several times. I'm just going to do a couple of quick shuffles here for you guys on camera, so you can see that these cards have been shuffled. Better than that. Give me 1 second here. I kind of just bent one of these cards. Oh well. Hopefully I can find it. Oh, there we are. Alright. Sorry about that. I hope everybody's been having a good weekend. I hope everybody's been taking the time to really keep their thoughts positive here as we move into this full moon and are in that place of receiving, so you can really take in everything that you've been manifesting as this energy comes closer to us. So, there we go. I think we'll just call that there. Alright, so the overall ending energy here for this reading is the 10 of Swords. So betrayal, feeling stabbed in the back, that kind of feeling there. The 10 of Swords, obviously, betrayal is the overall energy from it. It's a depiction of a man that's been stabbed 10 times in the back and left for dead. That's kind of the feeling, and it would be like a completion of that feeling, but with kind of what the question we are asking here. I'm really sensing that they would pick up on a betrayal kind of feeling here from you. So the first card we have showing here is the Six of Cups. Then we have the Prince of Pentacles. Then we have the Fool. Then we have the Two of Wands and the Four of Cups. So the Six of Cups is all about nostalgia, returning to someone from your past. It's an emotional state. So this would be them maybe really looking to the divine feminine in kind of an emotional state of like nostalgia and thinking about all the past times. This could cause them to potentially try and re-enter into your life, but we'll see more when it comes underneath this card. The Prince of Pentacles, or the Knight of Pentacles, for the traditional tarot, is a messenger, but it's a slow-moving messenger. So they might sit back and kind of watch this before they leap into any action and kind of see how things play out before they move forward. But I do feel like it would kind of maybe spark some sort of movement from them in relaying a message. The Fool is all about new beginnings. This is the leap of faith and somebody that is going to basically look before they leap, and have faith that whatever is going to happen is in their best interest or has been divinely guided. The Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is somebody, or represents the planning phase. This is somebody who's watching the ships go out, and they're planning the actions and the returns of the ship and what's going out. This is them being in their head, and formulating a plan. The Four of Cups here represents a time of like reflection, sorrow. It's somebody that's in meditation or not feeling fulfilled emotionally. They're looking at the Three Cups and not recognizing the Ace of Cups coming in behind them, the emotional new beginning. This is someone in sadness or sorrow over a third-party situation. This could be them even feeling like because of their third-party situation, they've missed out on the opportunity. That's kind of the channeled message that I'm really getting off this one here. Alright. We'll shuffle this one once here, just for the camera. It's a little bit hard to shuffle when I already have clubs down. As you can see, they kind of cause them to fly around and whatnot, so. I like both these. The overall ending energy for the next set of cards is the Devil. The Devil is all about temptations, codependency, addictions. It's a very negative card because it's associated with being bonded to things that are not healthy for you, things that aren't necessarily in your best interest, and feeling kind of stuck like that. So, it looks to me here, under the Six of Cups, we have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is someone that's trapped in a self-imposed prison. This is a very strong mental energy of somebody feeling trapped and unable to kind of move past the situation. They just feel like no matter what they do, they're always stuck in the same spot and they can't get around it. It is a self-imposed prison, though. That's a very important thing to notate here. And I'm going to hold this card up so you can kind of see it. Okay, so what you're noticing here is that you have her covering up her own eyes, and that she's actually holding on to one of the swords, keeping the prison in place. So this is somebody that's kind of like refusing to see and refusing to let themselves out of this prison. It's self-imposed. It's very self-imposed. They feel like they're stuck, but really they could drop the sword at any time and move their hand to see their situation for what it truly is. It's a very big mental energy. It's a mental block. With the Knight of Pentacles, we have the High Priestess. The High Priestess depiction in this deck here is kind of an interesting one. I really wish I had a better camera here, because this always reminded me of The Matrix, when Neo is talking to Morpheus and they're getting ready to take the red pill, blue pill kind of thing, right? It's kind of a similar energy to that, because the High Priestess is the guardian between the third and fifth dimension. Um, this is somebody who is all about their intuition and that spiritual enlightenment to guide them. Um, this is things coming from the dark to the light. Anything that's been hidden would be revealed. That's very much the High Priestess. Notation noteworthy on this card here, and you're probably not going to be able to make it out very well, but right here there is a cage and it has a heart in it. And then up in her hand here, this is actually an egg. The egg represents a new beginning here, the birth of something new. So this would be probably them coming to a new idea and then maybe also kind of really locking their heart up and pulling back on their emotional state. Definitely a real possibility here. The Fool with the Queen of Swords. So this would be a new beginning for the Divine Feminine. Her stepping into more of a logical role and less emotional. This would be someone that's, maybe a little bit cutting, but ultimately decisive and direct, and their energies would be very controlled and moving forward, methodical. Again, this one also, for the energy here, you can kind of make it out right here. It's another cage with a heart. So this would be somebody that's really kind of putting their heart back into a cage. And the reason I'm picking up on both these here is that I really feel as though they're trying to protect their heart. And that's why they're caging it up. They're caging it up to keep it protected, not to not let it go anywhere, but to keep things from coming into it. That's kind of the message I'm getting. So this would definitely be somebody who's not thinking with their heart. This would be somebody who's doing this out of trying to control for maybe their own mental state. So with the Two of Wands, we have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords here represents to me somebody that is probably the Karmic. It could be your new Karmic. It could be their current Karmic. This would be them starting to plan something with a Karmic. I guess because that's how the question was worded, is how they would feel. So this would maybe be them starting to plan something with the Karmic partner, who, with them being represented as the Page of Swords here, that tells me that maybe they would be where this person may have been like kind of petty and angsty and maybe causing them a bit of stress. They might kind of find themselves in a situation where ultimately they don't feel like they have another choice or another option, so they're starting to plan out something with them. We'll get more clarifiers, obviously, with this here to kind of see what the plan would be. So, with the Four of Cups, we have the Sun, and we have the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands has always represented to me the Divine Feminine, the twin flame female counterpart. And with that being there, there with the Sun in combination, it would be an illumination onto the they'd basically see the Divine Feminine in a new light, a new understanding, and ultimately, with it being all tied to the Four of Cups, they might come to the state of saying, well, I kind of deserve this to happen. This is what happens when you don't ultimately move and make a choice. And them seeing the Divine Feminine for who they are, but to me, this doesn't seem like they're stopping to interact with it or stopping it from happening. This might be something that ultimately they learn as like a lesson, potentially here. The illumination to the Four of Cups and how they view the Divine Feminine, right? So let's get some more clarifiers here. Sorry, my screen just went out on me. So, through the return, through the nostalgia here and their mental block on it, we have the Empress show up and the Magician, both major arcanas, right? This is them really, I think, having the block to the feminine, and then maybe feeling blocked on how to manifest this union, if this were to occur. Um, this is, they might still try to manifest it or still try an attempt to manifest it because they really would be feeling this loss of you. They very much feel the loss of you with this Six of Cups into the Eight of Swords and them seeing you in your true full beauty. But they might feel like they're being blocked mentally from being able to manifest that. So to me, this has a lot of regret, remorse, kind of feeling to it. This is them like seeing you, but feeling like maybe it's too late to do anything about it, and maybe them even feeling like you're better off in that situation because of everything that's occurred, and you've moved on. So it's time to let you maybe move on. Again, I think that's only for half the collective. I think the other half, their divine masculine, would very much try to manifest maybe the return and go around this. Maybe try and manifest out of this Eight of Swords and the return of the divine feminine. I think that would be a very real thing for some people. So with the Knight of Pentacles and the High Priestess here, let's see what we get for clarifiers. We have the Knight of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. So to me, this is them going from a place of having this desired message, right? And through their intuition, through their spiritual growth, and everything like that, all of a sudden they have a pretty big breakthrough in speed and passion. What was maybe grounded in logic at first, I think they start to really open up into the different emotional archetypes. And all of a sudden that passion and desire for this happy, abundant home life really kicks in, and this really kind of probably speeds up that message ultimately to them. And this is going to be for some people, right? Some people are going to have that breakthrough where they speed up in that passion and that desire for the happy, abundant home life. I do feel like it's important to mention that with everything else so far over here, this could actually be tied to the karmic. We'll see more over here, obviously, because we have this right here and this right here that are going to tell us more about this. So this could be them maybe trying to find the passion or speeding up the passion, and really, instead of giving up on the karmic, them running full speed and trying to make this happy home life with them. That is a potential reality here. I'm leaning more towards it probably going towards them moving towards their twin, just because they have this spiritual breakthrough of intuition. And with this spiritual enlightenment, that really kind of, to me, ties it all together. It is important to note, though, that all these cards right here on this second row, all are tied in this devil energy. So this would be them really feeling that codependency, that addiction, the chains, to the situation. So even in this High Priestess moment of intuition, there is still some codependency, some sort of ties that maybe makes it not even the most healthy of situations for them to come to these realizations. It's a question of, does the ends justify the means here? And I'm leaning pretty heavily towards probably not. I mean, this is a spiritual journey, and I feel like maybe for some twins, the idea of doing this might even be in some form of manipulation towards them. Not every twin. Obviously, I think some people are just really considering that because they are having the logical side of looking at it and saying, how much longer do I want to wait, for my other person? And, am I just being kind of crazy about this entire journey? And could I find happiness in somebody else equal to my twin? And the exploring of the ideas is totally healthy. It's totally healthy to think like that and absorb the connection and really look into it, because ultimately those kinds of things are going to show you where you need to heal and really what the next phases of your journey need to look like, right? So exploring any thought in relation to your twin flame, you're going to find yourself that you do have to do some shadow work sometimes, and that means not just sitting there in the love mush state, but also exploring some of the darker sides and contemplating that kind of stuff, ultimately to make sure that you are going down the right path of light, right? Alright, so let's do this. The Queen of Swords here. So the Queen of Swords, the Three of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles with the Fool. This is talking about you starting your own third-party situation, and ultimately kind of starting the process of moving that along. And if you were to move that along here with these kinds of energies, how ultimately the message might be relayed back to the Divine Masculine. We will pull a clarifier on this here once we line this back up, because this is just not enough information to really get the entire story, because we kind of want to know what would happen after that, right? Totally. So, Page of Swords with the Two of Wands. Page of Swords with the Two of Wands. So, this is probably them planning out their situation with the Karmic, right? We have them pulling the Five of Cups and the Ten of Cups here. To me, this is them mourning and being horribly sad about this this connection going on, but them ultimately deciding that because this happens, that they're going to basically stay with the Karmic and try and find this happiness and abundance with them, that emotional fulfillment. That there is no more Two of Cups. They're not looking at the Two of Cups connection. They're looking at this Three of Cups in remorse over here, and maybe even their own Three of Cups situation, and kind of being sad about that. The important thing to realize, though, is that you do have the progression from the 5 to the 10. And because you have the progression between the 5 to the 10, this tells me that they ultimately move out of this Five of Cups energy, this remorse, this living in the past, and move towards this happy life, and just kind of accept that this is, a part of life that happens. People move on. Things happen. They're in a relationship, and that they're going to try and make the best of the situation they have. Alright, so the Four of Cups, the Sun, and the Queen of Wands. So the first card we had come out here was the Hangman. I always put that card upside down. The Hangman is definitely somebody that spent some time in reflection, right? They feel like they're stuck. And they're seeing things through this new perspective and new light on it all. And ultimately this comes to them as a learning lesson, right? And through this learning lesson and this new perspective on the new way to see things, they do come to the enlightenment of the sun here, and the situation. And ultimately, it looks like they do regain hope about everything because this is a twin flame journey. So, how long this takes for that to happen, who knows? But if you guys are connected, red string of fate, twin flames, this is a fated journey. Ultimately, you make the decisions on how you want to affect your timelines, right? So, you might be a couple of months out from union right now. And it's always so hard because, it always feels like it's just like right around the corner. And then you just keep going and you keep healing and keep going through this process. And it's been, for some people, it's been years on years. And there's been a lot of separation and hardness with it. But ultimately, they come back into the stage of hope. And who knows how many years that might take or months before this reoccurs. But ultimately, with the Wheel of Fortune tied to the star, this is them wishing and hoping for the changing of the chapter and bringing this back in, the ending of a karmic cycle, the completion of it. So this is them hoping and wishing for things to eventually end. So that they can go on to the next phase of their journey and their own twin flame journey. This isn't just your twin flame journey. It's both of yours. You're both in that you're in a union state. Because you and your twin actually never are separated. You're always in a fifth dimensional union state, right? And because you're in that state, you're always going to be connected. So the separation is really just an illusion until you get to that actual three-dimensional union with them. Overall ending energy here, before we get more clarifiers, was the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is all about somebody standing their ground. Somebody that's basically fending off people from different angles, different areas, things like that here. So this to me says that even if you were to go be with somebody else, they wouldn't necessarily come running right back. They might try and manifest it and they might try and have a conversation, but they very well probably will just stand their ground and think that it's probably the only choice that they have. Because people do move on, and every other relationship that you've ever been through, you break up with somebody and then you move on and they move on, and that's just the progression of things. So to them, I'm really getting the feeling that they would just view it as every other relationship, and a natural progression in their life, despite how bad it hurts, and despite them constantly thinking about you, they would just perceive it as a natural occurrence in life. Right? So let me get some clarifiers here for the Three of Cups and Knight of Pentacles. So we have three major arcanas come out here. And to recap, the new beginning with the Fool into the Queen of Swords with her third party situation, right? And that progression, that movement forward. What I was thinking here is how would the divine masculine respond to this? And we have the Chariot, we have Strength, and we have the Moon. And this is them moving forward, moving on with strength and courage over the situation, despite the path looking pretty dark and dim. So, to me, this probably would break their heart quite a bit to watch it happen, but they would basically kind of suck it up and just realize that they brought it upon themselves, and try and move on and just have the courage and strength to try not to focus on the situation. I hope that has been helpful for anybody that is and has been considering it. I mean, I think at least this paints a pretty clear picture. Overall ending energy here, again, the Ten of Swords, more betrayal. So, ultimately the decision's up to you guys. Whatever you want to do, totally your life. You get one life, and then you might be reincarnated like 10 more times, and then whatever. Who knows how it works out, right? But ultimately it's your choice and how you want to do your journey and what kind of timelines you want to have. And if this is truly a twin flame connection, if it is, and you want to kick your timeline further down the road, and see this person several more years from now, and take your chances in the dating world and whatever, this is kind of what you can expect to be looking forward to. If you guys thought the video was helpful at all, please like, comment, share, subscribe. I will leave all the donation information, private reading stuff, in the description. Just getting it all out there. It's all in the description if you want to look at it. All right, guys. Have a good night. Take it easy.